you describe?
So again, it's lay the tape out in big long sections and then tear the tape and the paper on the headlight, as opposed to doing it in small sections. This will really speed you up because you'll get the paper done much faster than doing it one small section at a time. So you're going to tape the surround of the headlight so that you protect the headlight from when you spray, as well as protect the paint from when you sand. So you're going to go over the edge of the headlight, the edge of the chrome, the edge of the hood, and then you go and you do a little backup tape on it so that while you're sanding, you know, you can be assertive in sanding and you don't have to worry too much about scratching any paint. And then you'll also catch all the little corners, because, you know, the first time you put the paper on, it isn't perfect, so you'll catch all those little sections of the corner of the paint. So the second layer of tape, again, is just a safety precaution, and it lets you get all the little sections of paint that you might have missed with just putting the paper on. And you don't have to be perfect, but you want to make sure you have all the paint covered.
If you get a little overspray, it'll just leave a little shiny spot and it'll wipe off.
Yes. Just a plain old wax and grease remover will take it off. Most of the time, just some cleaners. Any kind of cleaner will do that.
So this is the 80 grit sanding block, and you want to be aggressive with the 80 grit sanding block because you are trying to remove all that decrepit coating and plastic on that headlight lens.
Go ahead and say it. Smooth.
Well, it's schmutz.
Yeah,
So again, you're also, the other thing you're going to notice on this while you're sanding, when you begin sanding, the dust is yellow because that's all the decayed plastic on the cover of it. You actually want to sand until you actually get a white dust, and then you know you're actually beginning to sand the clean part of the headlight. You've gotten through all of the decayed part of the headlight. But you do want to sand aggressively with the 80 grit because that's where you clean with. Now you're going to take a 600 grit sandpaper. Now the first sanding you do dry. This sanding you do wet. You take a 600 grit sandpaper, and what you're going to do is you're going to knock the tall surfaces, the rough surfaces that you created with the 80 grit, you're going to wipe them smooth with a 600 grit. And you can feel that working as it smooths out that 80 grit on your fingers. You can feel when the sanding gets smoother, and that's kind of one of your hints to move on to the next layer of paper. But once you get it all clean and smoothed out, just kind of quickly go over it one more time just to make sure you got everything. You can't over sand this and damage anything. You can just over sand it and spend more time than you need to. So once it feels smooth with the 600 grit, you move to the 1000 grit, and what the 1000 grit's going to do is it's going to do that final layer and smooth everything out, as well as leave a place for the clear, the UV coating to attach to. So again, you're going to feel the difference as this smooths out. You'll feel it in the sandpaper. But again, you're not going to take a lot of time sanding this. And once it feels smooth, you just kind of roughly go over it one more time. Just make sure you got all the little edges and all the little corners, and that's it. Then you're going to wipe it clean and get all of the debris and everything off. There's an alcohol swab that's going to come with it as well to do a final cleaning on it.
Do not use brake cleaner. Do not use brake cleaner.
Yeah, do not use any kind of other chemistry on this.
Do not use anything else.
Or off.
Nothing. And now you want to put a little bit of heat in the lens. It's cold morning out. We kind of recommend using a heat gun all the time because you want to make sure that the lens is warm enough. Just hand temp, the same temperature as your hand. You're not looking to add any high temperatures to it, just to make sure that everything's going to stick and apply and flow smoothly onto the lens. So notice he's not real close with the heat gun. You get too close with the heat gun and you can do some damage. So you want to kind of stay away, but just apply a little bit of heat to it. And then from there, you turn the heat gun off and you start at the bottom. And you spray starting off the paper, come across and finish off the paper. and layer back up, and you do about a 50% overspray each time. And as you bring that back up, you kind of stay the same distance from the headlight with your spray. So if the headlight curves like this one, you want your arm to curve along with the spray. And then again, a little bit more of the heat gun just to get the finish and get it to cure and make sure everything flows out properly. Now look at how clean that is. I mean, that is crystal clear. That's back to looking almost as good as it was when it was brand new, and in some instances it may be better. And then again, you put a second coating on there. Again, you start just like painting a car. You start the spray on the paper, and then you spray across the lens, and you turn it off while you're on the paper as well. And then you do a final cure with the heat gun. Again, you're not getting close, you're just applying a little bit of heat to this. And this will cure in less than 5 minutes. So here, as soon as we're finished here, we'll show you just, it's not tacky to the feel, and that's again why we use a little bit of the heat gun to it. It's not tacky to the feel, and it's ready for a car wash in about 10 minutes after you get the job done. And that's all there is to the BG Headlight Restoration Kit.
Well, 6.5